Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. This is my 1984 Land Cruiser FJ60, which I'm going to be talking about in this video. Obviously, it's going to be a rambling video, as they always are, but I'll talk specs and everything. But I'm going to kind of get into why I bought it, I guess. And it's like 20-some degrees out here. My hands are cold. My nose is probably going to like run. So if you hear some sniffles and stuff, I'm sorry, just deal with it. So over here, if you follow me, you know I have an 80 series Land Cruiser. This is a 1997 gorgeous 40th anniversary edition that I painted this custom brown. Well, I had painted this custom brown. I bought it, got a really good deal on it, and it was already pretty built up, but I made some changes, swapped out some lights and tires, dialed in the suspension with some new control arms and the Delta Panhard bracket. This is triple locked from factory, so front and rear lockers, sitting on 37s, swing out, winch, front and rear, sliders. These are actually sliders, even though they don't look like it. Skid plates, tent on top, solar, dual batteries. This thing is built up. It is crazy, crazy slow. And I take my Tacoma a lot because my Tacoma just has some creature comforts and stuff, but this is like definitely my most hardcore off-road capable rig, sitting on 37s. I don't know if I said that yet or not. So this is built. And I wanted an 80 series for a long time, shopped for them for a long time, and finally found one that had a really good deal and bought it, and been kind of tweaking on it for a while, but got it to a place that I'm really happy with it. I think it's beautiful. And I love it. Some people don't like the color, but the vast, vast majority of people think it is sick. So I went kind of crazy on this one, and I love it. So why then did I buy an FJ60? Because I also have my Tacoma, right? So how many overland rigs do you need? So I bought my 60 because I started falling in love with the 60 after I bought my 80. I have some friends like Richie from Boston, Jailbreak Overlander, who just loves 80 series, and his love for the 80 series kind of wore off on me a little bit. I already wanted one, but after talking with him, I wanted one even more. And then so I got the 80. After I got the 80, I started really wanting a 60. If you asked me about 2 years ago if I wanted a 60, I would have said no, I think they're ugly. But now I think they're beautiful. Like, I think this is more beautiful than this. A lot of people will fight me on that, but I don't know. There's something that just really grew on me with the looks of the 60. And then I have a buddy, Jack Card, Navy SEAL author, who has a passionate love for 60s. And talking to him and reading his books kind of even made me want a 60 even more. So I'd been browsing for a long time even before that, but just never found the right one. This one came for sale. In my mind, it was the right one, and we'll talk about why. All right, quick Easter egg. So for those that follow me, know I did a limited run of this patch of my Tacoma. Then I did a limited run of this patch, the 80 series Land Cruiser. Now, boom, limited run of the FJ60 patch. So this will sell out. LLOD.us/gear if you want one. Even more limited, I did one with the bike carrier on back. So if you're into the biking, you want to snag that one. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know down below if I should bring back these other ones. These both sold out in under a day. We'll see what these ones do. But yeah. So this is a 1984 Land Cruiser FJ60, not an FJ62. Some people ask if it's a 62 or a 60. This is a 60. The FJ62 came later. Easy way to tell the difference is the 62s have the square rectangle headlights and the 60s have the circular. So since I already have my crazy built out Tacoma and my crazy built out 80 series, people are like, why this? But also like, what are your plans? I can't wait to see what you do to it, yada, yada, yada. And to break a lot of hearts, I'm not gonna do much because this isn't gonna be the vehicle I go to for off-roading because I have the other two that I really like already. So this is kind of just my classic when I feel like being a little more classic, a little more vintage. This is what I have the bike rack on back, so I'm gonna drive it to trails, go get some grocery. I'm sure I'll do a little bit of off-roading in it, but I probably won't do extended trips, and I don't think I'm gonna put a rooftop tent and do much more with it. So how you see it is probably close to how it's gonna stay. Now I'm gonna be kind of doing a restoration of this vehicle, which I've actually started doing quite a bit of already. It wasn't in horrible shape when I bought it, but there were a lot of things not working and a lot of things that just needed fixing and updating. So it's kind of a restoration project for me, maybe kind of an investment, though I have no plans to sell it anytime soon, nor do I have plans to sell this. But for anyone that's tracking older Land Cruisers, if you can get a good deal on one, it's honestly, you probably will not lose any money. And if you put in a little sweat equity, I'm sure you'll raise the value of it. So that's kind of this for me, though investment obviously wasn't the primary concern. It was just having a beautiful rig, and now I do. So it's white. This was not originally brown. I had a vision and I put that vision to life. I do have a vision for this one, and the vision is to not keep it white. But there are a lot of people on Instagram that want me to keep it white, and I really do like the white. But let me know down below. Should I do something to kind of follow my vision, or should I keep it white? I'm kind of torn. So some quick basic stuff. It's sitting on 33-inch Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws. I like this tire. Not really as much as I like the KO2s necessarily, which is what I'm running on all my vehicles. But this came with the Wild Peaks, and they're a great tire. These and the KO2s are my two favorite all-terrain tires. They're Snow Peak rated. They're not too loud. They get the job done off-road, but they're not too aggressive, so they have good on-road characteristics. So I like this tire. This is a 33-1250 on a 15-inch rim. These are just 15-inch Steelies. And this has a small, about 2.5-inch OME lift on it. And there's tons of clear coat peeling. It's actually just also, in addition, it's dirty right now. But the paint is in pretty horrible shape. There's been some rust repair, a few areas. It's not uniformly white. You can kind of see around here. So hopefully the rust repair was done properly, because looking at it right now, for a 60, it's very good in the rust department. There's not a ton of rust. Most of these 60s you see, especially if they're not like fully restored ones, will have a lot of rust around the fenders and then some. So certainly not in great condition. Some of the lights weren't working, the headlights weren't working. There's a bunch of little stuff that wasn't working. The clutch was about shot, so it was slipping quite a bit when I bought it. But one of the reasons I went for this, in addition to just being kind of a good foundation, is that it has a V8 under the hood. It has a old Chevy 350. Predates the LS engines. Actually, this is from an old Firebird. Now let me go ahead and pop the hood and show you. So I know there are some Toyota purists that'll say, no, you ruined it, but everyone knows that the 60s and the 80s are sorely underpowered. So I specifically was looking for one of these babies that already had an engine swap. Granted, all the ones with the newer like LS swaps or Cummins swaps or anything like that are crazy more expensive. This was still relatively cheap as far as this generation is concerned with an engine swap. This does have an engine swap. This has the factory engine in it, though I'm thinking about putting a Witsen turbo in it and just driving it till it blows up, and then I'll probably put an LS in there, honestly. This one already has the V8, so it's nice because I can actually drive up the hills in Colorado here at the speed limit. Now, I don't know too much about this engine. I don't know how many miles are on it. Swapped out a new alternator. The starter was going bad, so I actually had the shop that put in a new clutch. They rebuilt my starter, and I'll probably want to reroute that intake because that's a pretty jank spot for it. But yeah, maybe I'll rebuild it and try and eke a little more horsepower out of it at some point. But this is what it is out of an old Firebird. So it's a 5.7 liter V8. Chevy 350 engine under the hood there. And I've had no issues with it. I've had this now for a few months, drove it in the cold, in the heat, and no issues. This has axles from an FJ62 actually. So some axles that were rebuilt, and when they did it, they put in air lockers, but there's no compressor or anything, so the air lockers aren't hooked up yet, but I'm told they're in there. Other than that, we have some hella horns, some random LED headlights, which I'm gonna probably try and swap these out for KCs. KC sent me out some like really nice LED headlights, but I have to figure it out because there's not a ton of room to work with here. So I haven't installed the KC headlights yet, but I have plans for them because KC sells a lot of Jeep lights. These are just the standard 7-inch round kind of H4s. So hopefully I can get the KCs in. I just haven't had time for that yet. I ordered a new grill actually. This one's kind of falling apart and junk. So that's that. This had like one of those lame brush guards on and some eBay lights I took off, but I did add some lights here. These are actually KC flexes, and I put them down here because I like lights down low, and I put the black bezel on because I wanted to kind of keep it stealth. So you don't really see those on here if you're not looking for them. Though, you know, if you come down here, you kind of see that there's something going on. But these lights are great. Down low, good for fog. I live in the mountains, so driving around through backcountry roads and stuff, I like as much light as I can. I don't have a switch controller or anything like that, so these are just hardwired to the normal switch that comes with it. So there's a lot of stuff that still doesn't work. Again, fixing stuff kind of as I go, but the windshield washer doesn't work. The headlight little washers don't work. The headlights themselves didn't work. I got those working now, as well as fixed a couple of the wiring issues. There's some things I want to swap out. I got new mirrors because these are horrible. They're almost not usable. I ordered some new emblems that I'll swap out when I eventually figure out if I'm gonna repaint this or whatnot. But the inside's actually not bad. Now I did some stuff here. It came with these cheapo eBay seats, which were horrible, which by the way, if you want some seats and you're in the Denver area, leave a comment down below and you can have these for free. Again, they're not great seats, but if you have a project that can use them, happy to give them to you. I swapped them out for these delicious Corbeau trail cats. So Corbeau hooked me up with a little discount on these bad boys and I put them in gladly. They have lower bolstering. I picked these ones specifically because in a lifted vehicle, you don't want a giant thing that you're having to climb over all the time. So you want it relatively flat, but it does come up a little bit to kind of keep you in here and has really good support on the sides. I did opt for the driver's side to have a hand pump inflatable lumbar support, so you can get that dialed in. And then Corbeau actually sells seat brackets for the 60s. So I got their seats and their seat brackets bolted up super, super simple. But I do have the rear heater under this seat here. That bracket still fit, but it was really tight on there, just FYI. So these seats, love how they look, love how they feel, install. Super easy. Obviously, I have a Chevy engine. See, I don't care too much about keeping things OEM, so these are a huge upgrade over the OEM seats, and more importantly, a huge upgrade over the eBay seats that I had in there. Also has this nice, huge, Tuffy console. This was already in there when I got it, though it kind of sucks because the e-brake is so tight where you'd normally grab the e-brake. I can't grab it with my right hand, so I gotta kind of do some janky stuff, grab it with my left hand, whatever, which I wouldn't care too much, and I don't care too much, but being this is a manual, a 4-speed manual, off-road, I actually use my e-brake a lot when I have a manual. When I have an automatic, it's easy. You have 2 pedals, you have 2 feet. It's kind of easy to do that, but with the manual, you have 3 pedals and only 2 feet. So there are times when using the handbrake, the e-brake comes in handy. And there's just not really room with the seat on the other side. The Corbeaus are actually just a little bit narrower. I was hoping maybe I'd have room to slide this over a little bit. And I might try and slide it over a little bit, but I'm not sure yet. But that's kind of one gripe. But I do love the Tote lockable storage. It is massive. I'll go over what I have in there in a second because I know you guys are always interested in that stuff. The carpet is relatively new and really good condition with some soundproofing underneath. And I did put these mats in, though they're dirty as usual, living in the mountains. These are kind of, I really liked these because Jack Carr's beautiful FJ60 had similar floor mats. So I found some that were like that, but in black, and put those in all around. You'll see in the rear and the back as well. And then these panels are actually in okay, they're in not bad condition. These are original, a couple of stains, but you know, they're okay. In here, I just have a little phone charger, some pepper spray. I talk about pepper spray from time to time, but if you live in an area where there are bears and wild animals and stuff, you know, it's nice to have, or you know, just random drunkards or riots where you just hit them with a little bit of pepper spray. I do obviously carry a gun on me at all times, but not everyone needs a bullet. Hand sanitizer / fire starter. I put in new pads on all the pedals, cleaned up a bunch of this stuff. This is the OEM dash and OEM steering wheel. I put in a little cell phone holder. Super ghetto head unit that isn't even in here, right? So I bought a dash kit for mounting it proper, and I bought a new cheapy head unit because this one doesn't even really work well. I can kind of listen to the radio on it, so I have a little Bluetooth radio transmission guy. But I'll swap that out at some point. And everything else is in pretty good condition. I have, like I like to do a lot, which is just a Velcro backed medical pouch. So this isn't going anywhere. And it's here, it's easy to access. This has a cat tourniquet, some quick clots, some other kind of trauma related medical gear. And then it also has one of these little glass breaker seatbelt cutters on it that I always like to keep in my vehicles. So just some safety medical stuff that's close at hand, right down in my foot area, doesn't get in the way of anything and is super secure. And then down here also is this. This is very cool. As I was searching, I'm always searching for new, better ways to do things. This is an Element fire extinguisher. They sent a few of these out to me, and they gave me a coupon code for you guys. So I think it's LLOD, and I think it saves you 10%. This is a very small, lightweight fire extinguisher that is basically has 5x the output of kind of your standard car size fire extinguishers. And it works for pretty much everything. And it works at all kinds of temperatures. You don't have to worry about it freezing or overheating or anything like that. And it's small and it mounts super easy. They have a bunch of different kind of mounts. You kind of use it like a road flare. You pop this top off, and this bottom top has like a little sandpaper, and you just strike it on the top, and then you just point it to put it out. So I'm very excited about these guys. So I put one in here, and this is on the easiest mount you could ever imagine. This is a little magnet, but super strong magnet that I just stuck on there. I may do something different with like a bolt style mount. They have bar mounts, bar clamps, all kinds of stuff. But this guy just pops in here. This is a perfect little place for it. Perfect little place for a fire extinguisher. I always keep fire extinguishers in all of my vehicles. I can use it for your vehicle, obviously, if it catches fire, somebody else's. Then I'm out in the woods all the time. I'm in a fire-prone risk area, so fire extinguishers are hugely important. But yeah, I'll put more info down below if you're interested. Sorry we're having some trouble focusing here. But that's that. The Tote, I got the cup holder attachment, and you know how I like my big Nalgene's. So this is a thing, I'll actually go around on the other side here. So this is a cup holder insert that you can expand so it's pressure fit into this little ring. So it gives you a bigger cup holder. So now I have a cup holder that will fit my Nalgene's or your hydro flasks or whatever like that. There's a little ledge here. Keep my Magpul sunglasses in the tortoise shell And then under the seat, I wanted to talk about it. I mentioned this in a previous video, but this is a Winkler Knives camp axe. This is something that actually Jack Carr turned me on to. He's a big fan of the Winkler tomahawks. And man, I'm really sorry that my camera is just having a hard time focusing on what I want it to focus on. But this was a gift from Blade HQ. My friends at Blade HQ sent me this as a present because my FJ60 just needed a gorgeous axe / tomahawk in it. So huge thanks to the guys at Blade HQ for sending this over. I'll link to it down below. But as you guys know, I love keeping axes and stuff in my cars because I do a lot of camping, and for the 50th time this video, live out in the mountains, and there's trees that fall over the roads and stuff from time to time. Not that this would make quick work of big trees, but you know, it'll make quick work of zombies, and I can use it for trees and little camp stuff, and it's gorgeous. Self-defense, practical uses. You guys know I love my axes. Now this particular axe I haven't used yet, so before you guys call me out for not using it, yes, haven't used this one yet. But man, it's beautiful. And then also under the seat, I keep a couple of the factory Toyota tools, and then I keep a little ham radio. I do have my ham license, and my mountain bike friends and my off-road friends all have ham, so I haven't wired up an actual car unit. So I'll just flip this on if we're nearby or if we're caravanning somewhere, and I can talk to them in their car units. So I keep that under the seat for easy access. So if you're like a lot of people and a $600 axe tomahawk sounds crazy to you, I did grab some cheaper options just to show you some kind of cool alternatives. This is a little Kershaw. I'll link to all this stuff down below, but kind of a similar size and a similar vibe. This is the little Fiskars hatchet, which again, similar vibe, similar size. This is one I actually like. It's a Gerber, little camp axe. Doesn't have full tang, probably the least durable of the bunch, but it does have a little tiny saw in here that's in the handle that you can take out and use for sawing tasks. So if you don't feel like dropping, yeah, that thing is $575. Then here's some cheaper options that are also pretty cool. So in the glove box, I keep just a smaller, this is more of kind of a boo-boo kit, adventure medical kit, first aid gear, little tire gauge, and some other little stuff. But let's go through some of the stuff in here. I have a thing where I like to find random pouches that fit spaces perfectly. So I take a bunch of measurements, I find something that'll fit in there perfectly, and I found this little random car organizer thing. It's Pelicus? I don't even know. It's probably just some random Chinese brand. I'll link to it down below. But then I stuff it with organizational stuff. Here's just some little cash, some ones if I feel like buying a lotto ticket or something. Some snacks, because you guys know I always need my snacks. A pair of random gloves. This is a beanie that BFG sent out to me. I have some extra socks and little stuff, hand warmers and stuff in here. And then I have a knife. This is an Essie. It's a little Essie RB3. It's one of their Camp Lore lines, so it has a little thicker handle. Feels really good in the hand. I made a custom kind of low drop sheath using just one of my belt clips from the ones I use for my holsters. Got a mag pull, 21 round Glock mag, because you never know. A little Sharpie, some sunscreen in here. And then I also have a pouch in here. This is Bond travel gear. And since I do take this biking a lot, I have a full set of Allens and a full set of Torx back in here if I need to work on a bike. Little wrench. This is the 1-up wrench I have in here. A little bit of cash money. I have some duct tape, some Gerber pliers, a flashlight, another little knife, and some other random tools kind of in here. And then the beauty of having a giant Tuffy with a bunch of extra spaces, you know, if I'm going somewhere I need to toss my camera gear or GoPros or whatever, I can put it in there and lock it up real nice like. Now on the back, it is the factory seat, which is actually in surprisingly good condition, but I put these little black covers on it just to kind of fit with the blacked out vibe that I got going on. And also, I put a lot of junk here and sweaty stuff and whatever, so I'm like, oh, I'll protect the factory seats. Not that this looks very nice, but I do like the black. Then again, I have this kind of floor mat that looks real nice. And then I'll go on the other side real quick. Then back here again, I love getting stuff that fits perfectly in an area. So this is just a little car tote guy. Keeps some random stuff, some paracord. This has like insulated little bottle pockets, which is nice because I'll throw some drinks in when I go out for a ride or whatever. I just have a towel. This is a jump starter, which I always like to have. This is an interesting one. This is one from awhile that has a battery that you can charge just like normal, just like these normal portable jump starters, which I've saved so many people with these. Mostly I use them on other people's cars. So if you don't know what this is, I'm a big proponent of these, especially if you live in cold climates. This is a jump starter. So if you're by yourself, nobody around, you hook the little jumper cables up to this, the little alligator clips, and you can jump start your own car, or you can jump start someone else's car. So rather than carrying jumper cables, driving your car over and helping someone jump a car, you just grab this, take it over, jump their car. Total lifesaver. But more importantly, if your car dies and there's nobody else or there's nobody with jumper cables, you can save yourself. Now this one specifically, they sent it to me, awhile. I think I have a coupon code. I'll link it down in the description below. This one has a capacitor in it. So it does have a battery, but if you use it too many times, you're jump starting a whole parking lot of people and you've depleted the battery entirely, the capacitor actually can take a tiny charge that's not enough to jumpstart your car from your battery, and through magic, I don't know too much about how capacitors work, enough to explain it anyway. You can use that tiny bit of energy that's on your car battery, assuming it's not 100% depleted, but it's too weak to start your car, and this will still give it the ability to start. So very cool option. And then under my towel, I keep some trash bags and stuff like that because, you know, I like picking up other people's trash. I don't actually like picking up other people's trash, but I hate trash around, so I do it out of necessity. And on the back here, I have a one-up bike rack, a single, just because I think they look the best, and I'm usually just, Ashley doesn't ride bikes, so I'm just transporting one bike for the most part. And this didn't have a hitch receiver, so I bought and installed a hitch receiver on this simply so I could put the one-up bike rack on here. Oh, and actually for the bike rack, underneath the seat here, sorry, I bought a 2-pack of these little bike locks. So you can get the wheel locks for the one-ups, but I'd rather have like a hardcore cable locking my bike up. So if we go somewhere riding and then I end up going somewhere and I want to lock my bike up, I have the ability to do that, and I just keep that under the seat. And I always like to keep a jacket in. So this is just a Beyond jacket. So if it's raining or if it's just a little extra cold and I need another layer, I always keep jackets in my cars. Oh, while we're here, we also do have the obligatory gun rack up top for the farm truck. And I did upgrade the LED bulbs in here to make them super bright. And then Land Cruisers have their legendary tailgates. So I do have to drop this down in order for the tailgate to open all the way. Though even when it's up, the tailgate will open, but it'll rest on that. So Land Cruisers, the back can open up. I did replace these struts that weren't working anymore. And then back here, I put a nice big rubber mat of the same style. And the previous owner actually cut out these ABS panels here. This is access to the rear washer, which, surprise, surprise, doesn't work. And the tailgate folds down like so. So yeah. So here it is with the bike on the back of the Land Cruiser. I put my non-e-bike on. I apparently have a lot of insecure or prideful or weird followers who don't enjoy a really, really good time because e-bikes are so much more fun. I decided to put my not e-bike on here so you guys could be happy about that. But here is it with the bike carrier on back. I think it just looks so awesome, right? Isn't it just beautiful? I think so. I hope you think so. Okay, so that's that. My fingers are numb, so I think I'm gonna cut it out there. The walk around, the current status of my 1984 FJ60, a vehicle that's probably older than most of you guys. And there will be some evolution of it. Follow my Instagram at Last Line of Defense, one word. I'll put it up here if I remember, for pictures and stuff I do with this. Let me know if you want to see stuff done to it, if you have questions, or you just want to say, man, that's beautiful, or man, that thing is ugly. Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, guys, take care.